Hey guys, welcome back to Dungeon Fodder. Today we delve into Altair Age of Ruin, and we are here with the creators. How are we?
Hi, I'm Richard Stern. I'm the lead creator of Altair and founder of Parhelia Games.
And I'm Laura Wilkinson. I'm a writer on this project.
Excellent. So at the moment, Altair is on Kickstarter. They're aiming for $10,000. They've got quite a few backers. They're at 67% so far, and the project itself will be finishing up on the 8th of March. So the project itself, I'll say that again, the project has been in the works for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Tell us, mate, what's the inspiration there?
So mostly just all the science fiction and fantasy books I read growing up, especially where they crossed over. I was a big fan of the sort of Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman novels, books like Dark Sword, where there was actually this whole crossover between modern Earth or future Earth and this fantasy setting. And so I really wanted to write a sort of science fiction fantasy setting myself.
Cool. All right. How long have you been playing role playing games? Give us a heads up there.
Since I was about 11.
Right, so
thereabouts.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So
Don't want to give your exact age
over,
away.
over 20 years.
Okay, good work. And yourself?
Probably seriously started when I first came to university.
Okay.
With jamming and playing in lots of LARPs and tabletops.
Oh, cool. So across the board, lots of games, lots of inspiration. That's really good. I guess one of the important things is the setting, isn't it? So what's a little bit of the history and the backing for the...
So the core setting is all about sort of the future of humanity and where they go to from now. So humanity is actually attacked by creatures from another dimension and are forced to flee to the stars.
Fifth or third or fourth? Wait, no, third is ours. Second or fourth?
Dimension?
Yes.
No, actually more from a sort of a hyperspace. So humanity starts experimenting with hyperspace travel, and there are things waiting in hyperspace that come out.
They delve too deeply.
Too deeply into the dark. So this is pretty much drawn from your brain, but inspired by these various books.
Yeah, and even just so the hyperspace stuff, from various science fiction settings like Babylon 5 and various sort of Star Trek and stuff like that, where there's other dimensions or other spaces that you can travel to in a ship.
Would you say that this is pretty much a concentration of all the things that you really enjoy, and you're trying to bring them all into one good project?
Definitely, yeah.
All right, cool. Ben, would you like to ask a question?
I don't know.
Okay.
Will I? Do I really? What's the questions are we asking? Oh, wow. Okay. Hang on. I've never done this before. What do you have about characters? So tell me, in regards to characters, how do you go about the character creation? Because I believe you've only got humans, which is or we'll say future humans, compared to most RPGs that come around. We have multiple different races for people to choose from.
Interesting design choice. So
yeah, we've pretty much just got humans. There's the one real exception to that is sort of a species that's been engineered, actually by the creatures in hyperspace. They've engineered them to hunt down humanity, but some of them have broken free, and you can actually play as these sort of rebels.
Cool.
But we've got this whole system of where you choose a background for your character, and that background could be that you were raised a peasant but then abducted and trained to be a soldier, or it could be that you were engineered by one of these alien life forms. And we've got a whole range of different backgrounds that you choose to establish the starting point for your character.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
One of the selling points of the system that I've heard about and I liked was the magic system. So can you give us a little bit more on the magic system?
Yeah, so magic sort of delves into the idea that there are these other realms out there, actually 5 other dimensions. And so one of them is this sort of hyperspace dimension. They're now called the Void.
The Void.
But there are 4 others as well, and magic is actually performed by altering the barrier between our world and one of the other dimensions. So, for example, the blaze is one of the dimensions. It's actually the source of all electromagnetism, or electromagnetic fields. So, if a character were to weaken the veil between our dimension and the blaze, they let in heat and light, which could be used to create, say, a fireball.
Very cool.
So it's all based on the sort of originally scientific ideas, and humans had the ability to do this through technology initially, and hyperspace travel and technology that manipulated these forces. But the modern Altaeans have lost that technology and now just believe it to be magic.
Speaking of the modern Altaeans, you say it's very science fiction and fantasy, the society that they live in, is it feudal? Is it more modern?
It's very, very feudal.
So what the game takes place in is the Fourth Age. The First Age is the age of space travel.
When they first arrive.
Yes, and when they first began the war against these enemies in the void. And the Second Age was more an age of scientific wonders. The Third Age was a golden age of magic. But then disaster struck, magic went haywire, a cataclysm basically went across the land, and now we're in the Fourth Age where magic is treated very suspiciously, but at the same time it's incredibly widespread.
Okay, so would you say when people are playing characters, they're playing in a more dystopian sort of setting where they're trying to rebuild an old civilization?
Yeah, definitely. And also, they also tend to take on the roles of rebels as well, working against the
status quo.
The status quo or the people in power. Especially because magic is generally persecuted in most of the regions of the world. And it's persecuted differently in some places. It's outright outlawed. In other places, they're enslaved and forced to obey those in power. But the players tend to take on the roles of the rebels who are trying to bring magic back or are trying to free those who are enslaved in this way.
What level of technology do you have in this age? So obviously nowhere near that of the golden ages,
right?
But
it's interesting.
So we've got for most people, the general technology level is Middle Ages, sort of like you've got plate mail armor, you've got swords, bows, and that sort of thing. There's no gunpowder,
but you still have relics from ages past. So on the cover of our download book, we have the city of Meharavia, which is protected by a force field by the elements.
So that force field was left over from a past age, and it is a work of technology rather than magic.
Cool.
And that's usually the way that magic items occur in the game is delving into ancient ruins of these past civilizations from past ages. They may uncover devices that appear magical, but are actually just pieces of technology.
The quote of, I cannot think of the name.
Arthur C. Clarke.
That's it. Yeah. But when science reaches to a certain point, that is indistinguishable from magic.
Exactly.
Yep. Exactly. Okay, so head writer, do most of the writing yourself, made an inspiration. Right. You've come on board and you've added.
I've helped with some of the setting materials. I've been developing a new faction,
which we're actually going to be posting about on Kickstarter very soon, actually.
Okay. Ooh. Cool.
Can we get a brief glimpse?
So if you have a look at the map, you'll see that each end of the main continent has horrible dangers. On one side you've got the Kingdom of Ash, on the other end you've got the Kingdom of Fiends. So trade between the more civilized kingdoms is a bit hamstrung. So what I'm developing is the survivors of the Kingdom of Tears. We call them the Sorrowborn. They're a seagoing... They're a seagoing people. They sail the ships across the deep ocean and they provide most of the trade and communication between the different areas of Alteas. And of course they have their own secrets and customs.
So a new faction that is predominantly focused on trade and communication and interacting with all the different societies.
Yes, and that could be a very appealing setting for players to take on.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of excuses to be going from place to place.
Exactly.
Yeah. And pirates! Who said that?
Okay. John Wick.
Okay, so one thing I always like to look at when I'm looking at a game, other than the fluff in the background, is the system itself. I love processes. I love the way things work. Yep. Give us a bit of insight into the basic of your system. What's the basic use?
So we use a D10 system, and I wanted to go with the idea that you never need more than 6 D10 at a time. So the core of the system is you have a skill that you roll. Say if you've got 3 in the skill, you roll 3 D10. And then you just choose one of the results to keep. Usually the highest.
Oh, yeah, I would say so.
I don't know.
Although, if you get in a barroom brawl, maybe you don't want to
punch the guy's head off.
Maybe you want to keep them alive.
Yep, fair enough.
So you can choose to choose a lower result.
I know someone who would definitely choose the lowest result.
But after choosing a result, you have some modifiers. But I think one of the core elements is if you roll a 10, you get to add a second result.
Okay, so like an exploding dice mechanic?
Yeah, we found in testing though that rather than the usual exploding dice where you re-roll a dice, that it was actually more fun to just pick one because you've sort of rolled your dice out there and you sort of go, oh, this one, Oh, it's 10, and you've got
I'll
a
get another one
sliding.
as well.
There's this tactile thing of sliding a dice across the
Okay.
table and saying this one.
Give us an idea when players play this game. Like one of the things that players are often interested in is the level of power that the character may possess, or the type of game that they're playing.
Yeah.
So we've established, I guess, that it's a dystopian style of idea. They may be playing as rebels. They may be doing a few different things. But give us an idea of the power level from, say, paranoia to exalted. Where does it sit in between there?
Oh, it's a long way below Exalted.
So it's not near exalted. They're not.
So-
yeah.
Maybe more about 5th level D&D, I guess?
Yeah. So
Thanks.
you can start to an extent. The GM could tailor it, but you usually start with several special abilities, and even if you're not a spellcaster, you still get special attacks.
So you're not a Thor, but you can
Right.
be like a Spider-Man.
You can totally do
Hey, Spider-Man's
definitely-
awesome.
Hey, I'm not saying that he's not awesome. I'm saying power level.
You can absolutely get to Thor though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So-
so that was what I was going to ask.
Yeah,
so you
you
can
start-
actually work your way up to
You
it.
start, say 3rd to 5th level, sort of D&D sort of character, but you work your way right up, and
So from
We-
Peter
we-
Parker to Spider-Man.
we rate our
Yeah,
we
yeah.
rate our magic on a 1 to 5 scale.
Yeah.
And while 1 might be hurting, a small flash of fire that damages a single person, by the time you get to 5, you could be engulfing city blocks and opening portals to other dimensions and that sort
I
of thing.
don't like that shop.
Flying through the sky with lightning around you.
The advantage of the background system is that as soon as you begin, you're already a hero in a small sense.
Right.
You will have a unique advantage and a unique disadvantage that no one else can buy through talents or spells.
Based completely off your background.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you say disadvantages. How strong are these disadvantages? Do they really affect the gameplay itself, or they come up every now and then?
Well, during playtesting, I got to play a Saruman Scout, whose special advantage is they can basically blank themselves out. They can be the shadow.
So turn invisible in a way.
Yeah, that people just ignore them. But the disadvantage is whenever I become visible again, I take physical damage.
Okay.
As you're re-emerging back into reality type
Yeah.
thing. Just a quick one on magic. You were mentioning that before. Something that I found intriguing as well was the fact that there's not set spells. There's not set spells, but
That's right.
it's more of a fluid magical system.
Yeah, so it's more dynamic than that. So we've got 5 different realms of magic, and they're quite broad. So the blaze covers things like light, heat, cold, and cold and darkness. And a character who has that magic can pretty much craft their own spell within that based on the level. The level determines how powerful the spell is. You have skills that determine, for example, range and radius of the effect, but you can kind of make up, the exact effect with the cooperation of a GM.
That's cool. All right, so at the moment you do have something available for download. If
I
you
do.
want to check it out. It would be...
I showed it before. I'll show it again.
So we have a preview of the game available on our Kickstarter page right now. You can download and start playing. It covers sort of all the ranks of all the abilities up to level 3. We're going to go up to level 5 in the final book. And there'll be a lot more backgrounds. At the moment, it pretty much focuses on the Kingdom of Glass, which is just one of the many
one of the
areas
various kingdoms.
that we'll have available.
Now, I'll ask you to do one last thing.
Keep going, I'll read.
Okay, you read. I'll ask you to do one last thing. Just have a look at the camera and tell people why they want to play your game. Why is it your game that they want to play and why they want to check out? Sell it for me.
You're at a market bazaar, you're role-playing, you're at a market bazaar, you're trying to get the attention of people walking past. Go.
Greetings, stranger. Tell me, why should I buy this manual from you?
The magic system is unique. The world is fresh and new for you to explore. And there are still dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs?
You did not mention dinosaurs once. Why did you mention dinosaurs?
Why wasn't this in my interview notes?
They kept it from us.
That's it. Interview's over.
Dinosaurs 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Can you
10 out of
ride
10.
them?
Yes.
Oh my.
Rideable dinosaurs.
Okay, that's cool. Wait. Can you put guns on them?
Should I? Right. I don't
You
have
can
anything
make
for
them
that.
fly.
Make them fly, yeah. That happened in playtesting.
Before this degenerates any further, thank you very much for watching today.
Yes, check out at LTS Age of Ruin on Kickstarter and finishing on March 8th. So get in early, get in quick, get in now.
Ride dinosaurs.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.